Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As I said, it is engagement season. That is all we are focusing on right now. So we're going to talk about how to plan an engagement party. So a lot of people are always asking me, like, what are the rules? What are the rules with weddings or planning? So, these rules set in place are simply etiquette tips. And along with these etiquette tips, I will say that there is so much room for originality and flexibility. Here's the thing, with engagement parties, you guys don't have to have an engagement party after you get engaged. If it's not the right time for you, if it doesn't work out, that's totally okay. It's not an obligation. It's just a really fun way to kick off your engagement, especially before you get deep into planning your wedding. So a lot of couples actually, don't live in the city they're getting married in, or they may not live around friends and family. So kind of planning an extra event like an engagement party may be a little bit more difficult for them. Also, maybe there's a global pandemic and you can't really even gather. So an engagement party is kind of off the table for now. So again, you don't have to plan an engagement party, but if you do decide to and it works for you, we're going to talk about the who's, what's, when, why's, and where's. Okay, so the who's. Who plans my engagement party? Traditionally, the bride's family would plan and pay for the engagement party. So I know what you're asking. Okay, what if there's two brides? What if there's a groom and a groom? There's really no set of rules here of who is going to plan your engagement party. Often couples opt to plan their own engagement party. Maybe your coworkers want to throw you a little shindig, or maybe your friends throw you a surprise engagement party, or maybe it's both sets of parents contributing so they could kind of meet each other beforehand as well. So again, there are really no sets of rules of who throws you an engagement party. The possibilities are endless, and you could have more than one engagement party. It could be kind of little sets of engagement parties or kind of one big one. Who do you invite? Now, whoever is invited to your engagement party should absolutely be invited to your wedding. However, I will say not everyone invited to your wedding needs to be invited to your engagement party. Say if you should have your guest list narrowed down at this point, and if you have 200 people on your wedding guest list, that's a pretty large engagement party to plan. So I suggest just really keeping it more intimate and keeping it to your close circle of friends and family and really those VIPs on your list. All right, now let's talk about the when. When do you have an engagement party? So I think a typical timeline would be within 2 months of you getting engaged and not more than 6 months to your wedding date. Now, I think it largely varies though on when you get engaged and when your actual wedding date is. That's because say if you're planning 2 years out, you have a 2-year engagement, you could maybe not necessarily need to have your engagement party right away. I do think it's awesome when you have it when it's just kind of fresh and you're definitely not in the thick of planning, but a lot of people have it, say if you get, again, it just depends on when you get engaged. So if you get engaged, so let's say in November and the holidays are coming up and you have your family gathering, maybe it's easiest to plan an engagement party then because it's convenient for everyone to get together. But again, I think it just depends on when you get engaged and when your wedding date is. For instance, we got engaged in November. We didn't have our engagement party till 6 months later in May because we weren't getting married until that following April, a whole year later. So it was plenty of time and space in between everything. And plus our closest family members couldn't be there any sooner than May. So our engagement party was 6 months from when we actually got engaged, and it totally worked out for us. Now, we did not end up getting married that April. We ended up getting married that same year in August, which if you haven't checked out my video on our secret wedding in Catalina, please do so and you'll learn more why. Where do you have your engagement party? That largely depends on the type of engagement party you want. If your parents are helping you host it, maybe it's just a casual backyard shindig with a barbecue. Maybe you're planning for just kind of a little cocktail hour at your favorite bar or swanky hotel. Maybe it's a formal seated dinner at a restaurant or a small venue. Maybe you're doing a Sunday fun day type of brunch and it's on San Diego's largest catamaran, Triton Charters. Maybe it's at a bonfire for sunset at La Jolla Shores. So whatever you want it to be and where, is totally up to you and the style that you want it to be. Okay, now the what's. What type of invitation do I send? Typically, again, it's up to you depending on the formality of it. If you want to make up your own invitation in Canva and send it out to people, you certainly can. Send a formal invitation, especially if you have some sort of seated dinner where you're going to need everyone's RSVP. Maybe you send an evite through everyone's email or as a text message. Whatever your invitation style is, make sure it kind of matches the style of your actual engagement party. And I do suggest sending invitations at least a month out so it gives everyone time to plan. You're going to want to alert them of where it is, the address, the time, what people are wearing, the type of event it is, etc. So definitely send out an invitation, however formal or casual it may be. What do I wear? Do I have to wear all white? Absolutely not. Wear whatever you're comfortable in. And it also depends on if you choose to have a theme. I think theme parties are really, really fun when it comes to engagement parties. You could kind of be a little more playful with it. It doesn't have to be the same theme as your wedding. If it's in the springtime, maybe you wear like a fun floral type of dress. Say if it's in the winter or around New Year's, something a little more sparkly. It just really depends on how you guys want everyone to dress. I think theme parties are really, really fun when it comes to engagement parties. And for instance, our theme was rosé all day because we had our engagement party at a wine bar in Santa Barbara, so it just kind of fit with the setting. I wore an all white cocktail dress because I wanted to stand out. I am the bride. It's okay to do so. My husband wore white pants and a pink flamingo shirt because he thinks he lives in the Bahamas, and it was rosé color. So again, whatever you guys want it to be, definitely, dress the same if you want to stand out and make it about you and kind of be that pair in the room that everyone goes to, because it is about you, and that's okay to be a little bit showy for your engagement party. And don't be afraid to shine, darling, shine. What kind of food and drink do I provide? Again, I think it just depends on the type of party that you are having. Maybe it's a BYOB if it's at someone's house or your home. If you are having drinks, say if it is at a local bar, I do suggest having nibbles as well. Just kind of having everyone just show up and drinks are on me, or open bar, not having any type of food. I think you could host some sort of food, whether it's a charcuterie board or, like I said, little nibbles, whatever it is. If it's not a formal seated dinner, definitely include some bites to eat with that. And don't skip dessert. That is just kind of a lifelong lesson with throwing any party. You have to have some sort of sweets with dessert there. I think it's really cute to have custom cookies made. Maybe it has your initials on them and you give them out as favors, or a little cupcake display or something, whatever you guys like. I don't think it needs to be like a huge cutting cake. Have some kind of dessert that is along with your theme, or kind of make it a little more customized. I think it's really cute. Okay, let's talk about gifts. Are gifts required? I don't think you need gifts at your engagement party. I think at that point, you may not even have your wedding registry up. I think it's nice if guests, if they bring you a gift, that's totally okay. I think a congratulations card is really, really sweet gesture, but having a whole gift table, I don't think is required at this point, especially if someone does bring you a gift. Keep in mind, don't open it at the party, because if someone did not give you a gift, it's going to make them feel really, really terrible and kind of like make them stick out. So if you do get gifts, that's totally okay. Be polite about it. Don't open them at the party. If you kind of want to make sure you take care of the no gift thing, politely put it on your invitation. Gifts not required. That kind of takes care of that scenario, so to speak, ahead of time, so you don't have to really worry about it. And lastly but not least, I do think it's polite to send thank yous to everyone who did attend your engagement party. I don't think this is talked about enough. These people are going to be with you throughout your whole wedding planning journey. So they're going to be with you at your engagement party through your wedding day. So they're really taking the time to make sure they celebrate you. And I think it's just a really sweet gesture of you taking the time to just send them a polite thank you card. Bonus if your thank you card is your actual official save the date. I think that kills two birds with one stone. And again, it's just a really polite thing to do. And again, if it is your save the date, then you have that taken care of and checked off your list. But do some thank yous to all the guests that did attend your engagement party. Okay, planning your engagement party during COVID, a huge, huge hot topic. And this is what I suggest. Make it safe for everyone. I don't think it's fair for you to plan an engagement party just for the sake of you having to plan it during this time. I think you need to be very, very mindful of how people feel in a crowd at this time. They may feel really, really bad if they are invited and choose not to go because of the pandemic going on. And I think it may not be the right time to plan an engagement party. And if you do, it should be your very, very tight circle of family only, same household, or just kind of wait a little bit or don't have one at all. Or my best suggestion, you could always do a Zoom call with your friends and family and have an engagement party that way. Or just let it be the two of you. Like seriously, set a night aside, a Friday, a Saturday night. You guys dress up or be in your most comfy PJs, whatever feels sexiest to you. Honestly, grab a really nice bottle of champagne, grab some local chocolates from your local baker or chocolatier, and celebrate you. Just the two of you. That could be your own engagement party, and like commit that time to each other. Like watch your favorite rom-com or do something, a little different than you would normally do, and make it about you. If you have a bathtub, like have a bubble bath, you guys, and throw on some candles and make it really, really, really romantic and intimate. So, like I said from the beginning, you don't need an engagement party. And if you can have one, that's super, super wonderful. And just kind of follow these simple tips to make sure it really is about you and a personal experience. So all in all, if you can have an engagement party, do it. But if not, that's totally okay as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you like this video, please share with a friend. Our business is based on referrals and we'd love to connect with someone new. I will see you next Tuesday. As always, stay creative and be legendary.